inequalities. A little bit different here. We're going to solve these quadratics just like we would normally solve a standard quadratic. That's by factoring. So we're going to do that to start, factor it. What factors of 70 add up to negative 17? We figure that out. They happen to be negative 10, negative 7. We factor, we pull out the solutions. So negative 7, negative 10. My solutions for an equation would be 7 and 10. What I need to do from here now is different. I can't write my solution yet. I'm going to actually graph it first, and then I'm going to figure out my solution. So it's going to be open circles on both these values because it's less than, just less than. So I got 7, I got 10 on each of those. Just make sure you put them in order on the number line, then you're good to go. Now, I'm going to set up a little table here. I need to figure out what my signs are going to be like when I plug in certain numbers. So I have two parts. I have an x minus 7, I have an x minus 10. X minus 7, x minus 10, and then I have both of them combined. This is what I'm concerned about, is this both part. What happens to my signs when I get both of them plugged in? So what I'm worried about here is, what are my signs going to be? All I want is a number that's less than 0, so that just happens to be a negative number. So I need to test some numbers out. Numbers that are left of 7, just pick one to choose. I pick 0. It's the easiest number to pick when you're doing this. You plug in 0 for this first one. 0 minus 7 is negative 7. All I care about is the fact that it's negative. Plug in 0 here. 0 minus 10, it's a negative 10. But again, all I care about is it's negative. These two terms are being multiplied up top, so a negative times a negative is a positive. That's the combined version, the both portion. A number between 7 and 10, I pick 8. 8 minus 7 in the first here is positive 1, so it's positive. 8 minus 10 is still negative, but here we have a positive times a negative, so it's a negative answer. That's one that we want. We wanted a number less than 10. And then we double check at the end here. We pick a number greater than 10, 11 say. 11 minus 7 is a positive 4. 11 minus 10 is a positive 1. Positive times a positive is positive. Again, I'm looking for a number that's less than less than 0, which is negative. Negative answers are only happening when I plug in numbers between 7 and 10. So that's my solution set. There's a couple ways you can write that. You can write 7 is got to be less than x, and x has got to be less than 10. You can split it up separately. I would just go ahead and do that. Interval notation, open parentheses on everything. There's its open circles on all of it. There's your solution. Second one, last one, quadratic wise, is this. Got to get x on one side, or everything on one side before you factor, obviously. Just get it over to the left. It's x squared plus 9x plus 20 greater than or equal to 0. Factor it out. Factoring, for the most part, is going to be pretty simple. There's other things to worry about here than factoring. Plus 5, plus 4. My solutions are negative 5, negative 4. So I put those on there on the number line. Filled in circles. Set up our little table. Now we're going to notice something here, and I'm going to point it out here in a second. We have x plus 5, x plus 4, and we have both of them combined. Again, the portion we are worried about is what happens with both of them. So we plug it in, pick a number less than negative 5 to start. So negative 10, it can be whatever you want as long as it's less than negative 5. So negative 10 into both of those are negatives. Negative times a negative is a positive. All right. in the middle, in between those two. Just pick something as basic as you can with a small window like that. It'd be like negative 4.5. Negative 4.5 plus 5 is positive. Negative 4.5 plus 4 is negative. We get another negative here. Last one, if you notice in the last window, it alternates. All right, it's going to alternate. It's going to alternate here. Last one's going to be positive. You can double check that if you want, but I promise you it's going to be positive. It's going to alternate. It just depends on what it starts with. What I want to see out of you, I want you to fill out the chart, but all I need is this right here. All right. I'm looking for answers that are positive. So I shade left, shade right. My answers, I have answers that are less than or equal to negative 5. I have answers that are greater than or equal to negative 4. So I have that. Write it in an interval notation. Negative infinity to negative 5. Close it with a bracket. Connect it with a U. Open the next one with a bracket. For negative 4 to positive infinity. Close it with parentheses. There's your answer.